Good morning, everyone. Today I am coming at you with tips and tricks for how to stick to your diet. As we are in February, it's been a little over a month since a lot of people probably made a lot of New Year's resolutions, implemented a lot of diet and lifestyle changes, and this is the time when people start to fall off track. People start to lose motivation, lose the excitement that they had for their journey because of a few things that the things that we choose to implement to go on this path can do to our mindset and our body. So I want to give you some good tips for how to get to where you want to go and not let, the monotony of said diet or fitness program or whatever affect your progress. But first, I have a diet to stick to. It's called a reverse diet. We're trying to increase calories. So we're starting off today with a smoothie. I'm making the smoothie the last couple days. Honestly, I'm in a phase right now where I've just had so much stuff in my pantry piling up and like in my freezer and in my fridge. I'm like, I just need to use everything that I have before I let myself like go buy more things. And I've had these just like little frozen packs of banana in my freezer for months. So I've been trying to make smoothies with that. Like, look, it's literally been in my freezer so long that it's brown. Which I'm pretty sure is fine. Had this a couple other days and I haven't gotten sick, so should be fine. And then I also showed you guys, I got these little like frozen dessert ice cream things from Thrive Market the other day. And I've been throwing these in my smoothies as well. And it's been like an amazing smoothie addition. That's going in there. Need some protein, as per usual, using the SIGMATIC chocolate protein. Gonna do a tablespoon of ground flax seeds, a teaspoon of maca powder, and just to make it a little extra chocolatey, gonna add in a tablespoon of cacao powder. And then I actually want to make this a mint chocolate chip smoothie, so I'm gonna add 1 drop of peppermint extract, and then I'm just gonna go blend this in the kitchen. I'm not gonna bring my blender in here, and you guys know what it looks like to blend a smoothie. I don't need to film that. But at the last second, I'm gonna throw in a tablespoon of cacao nibs to make it a mint chocolate chip smoothie. It's just, best way to start my day. Gonna blend this, BRB. And we have my chocolate mint chocolate chip smoothie. I even sprinkled a few cacao nibs. Can you see that? I don't wanna spill it. A few cacao nibs on top for that little extra crunch factor. Yep. This is so good. I am so happy. What was I talking about? I don't know. My brain is derailed by the deliciousness of chocolate mint chocolate chip smoothies. Yes, sticking to your diet. Just pulling up my notes really quick. So the first like big tip that I have is mostly just in reframing the language that we use to talk about these shifts that we implement to affect change in our own bodies. The word diet has just become so co-opted by so many different spaces to mean so many different things, and most of those things do not have like positive associations. You think diet and you think restriction, you think no carbs, you think things that just don't sound appealing to do. So I think if you're struggling to stick with what you're trying to do to achieve your goals and you're calling that thing that you're trying to stick with a diet, that's problem number 1. You shouldn't be trying to stick to a diet. And let me explain what I mean by that. There is a lot of evidence that suggests that diets don't work. A lot of people in the body positivity and the anti-diet space show plenty of research that show that diets don't work. And the diets that they're talking about in the context of those studies absolutely do not work. These are diets that put people at like 1,200 calories a day or like 30% deficits or things that are just absolutely not sustainable. Sustainability is the key, and most diets in the traditional sense of the word of like a weight loss diet are not sustainable. And so I strongly recommend reframing your entire approach to your goals as lifestyle changes rather than a diet. Diet kind of implies restriction, it implies cutting things out, but it also implies something short term. Like, most people know that they shouldn't be on any given weight loss diet forever, right? Because you shouldn't be losing weight forever, or else you would literally just lose too much weight and die. So diets are inherently designed to be short term. But if you can instead approach your path to your goals as setting and achieving lifestyle changes, that forces you to reframe how you're thinking about all those changes as, is this something that I can do forever? And if it's not something that you can do forever, it's probably not going to be something that's going to get you sustainable, long-lasting results. anything that doesn't feel sustainable for you right now is setting you up for failure, because you're literally setting out to do something that you know is not going to be a part of your life long term. And if that's the thing that's getting you the results that you want, when you stop doing it, you're probably not gonna have the results that you want anymore. So I am getting ready to head off to the gym right now, get in a little workout. Since starting my reverse diet, I have now switched styles of exercise. I was training in the hypertrophy range for most of January while I was letting my body kind of chill out post-cut and not really pushing it to do anything in particular. But now that I am in a reverse diet, trying to speed up my metabolism, I have switched into a strength phase where I'm lifting like heavy, like as heavy as possible, 2 to 5 reps for most exercises. This ponytail did not go as well as I was hoping, but I don't care. So I'm actually about to go do the workout that I showed you guys like 2 weeks ago. Last time I showed you guys a workout that wasn't the full body workout that I posted, so I'm not gonna refilm it because I already filmed it for you guys, and I can just put it here on fast forward so that you would know what I'm doing. While I'm getting ready, I figured I would give you guys my next tip. Don't pay attention to the fact that I haven't made my bed. It's fine. Today's just one of those days, clearly, considering I'm also being really lazy about filming things. It's just a day. Today is just, it's a day. But my next tip is to start your diet or your lifestyle changes by adding things rather than taking things away. And if you've already started your diet doing other things, like, it's not too late. You can still totally implement this tip. But this is literally like how I work with my own clients too, is first couple weeks, almost always, I will just be adding things to their diet, adding things to their lifestyle, and not telling them to remove anything. And this is really helpful for 2 reasons. Number one, obviously adding things feels a lot better than taking things away. It's a lot easier to build habits that feel good and get your momentum that way rather than starting off by feeling restricted. And also, a lot of people are missing a lot of really good things from their diets and lifestyles that would really help them towards their goals. So some of the things that I recommend kind of assessing in your own life and seeing if you can add are vegetables. Literally just starting with a goal of eating a cup of vegetables a day could transform your diet. Also, eating enough protein, or making sure to get in 1 serving of protein with every meal. Adding in healthy fats, adding in omega-3s, adding in more water, adding in more colors into your diet. Like, that's a great way to expand your diet, explore in the kitchen, and really shift your focus to something that's more fun, that's also going to benefit your body. You can also set a fiber goal. That's a great way to add more things. And the thing is, when you're adding all of these healthy things into your diet, oftentimes you have less room for the things that you would think you need to restrict anyway. So if you're eating like 2 cups of vegetables a day, you're eating your lean body mass in grams in protein, you're drinking enough water, you're focusing on getting all of the colors of the rainbow into your diet, like, you're trying to add so much that you don't have as much room for more processed, hyper palatable foods. And you're not actively restricting these things, but you don't reach for them because you're trying so hard to eat all of these other things that are good for you. And then you can also add things in that aren't diet related but are just like lifestyle related, like adding in movement, you know, aiming for a specific step count, getting in a consistent exercise routine, making more time for sleep, adding in journaling, meditation, breath work to help regulate stress. All of these things that can benefit your health that feel good. So I am off to the gym. We're gonna just fast forward through this workout that I filmed last time, and then I will meet you guys back here for another tip. Let's go.
I've been dreaming on in my head like I've seen it. A life worth living is a life with meaning. I'll do what I love till my heart stops beating. I'm feeding this demon.
I'm getting some last minute steps in before it gets too dark. I think the sun technically set already, but I have a good 15 minutes worth of daylight left to get a couple more steps in. I wanted to give you my next tip for how to stick to your diet, and that is that I highly recommend approaching your diet or your lifestyle change, as we talked about, from a place of self-love, not self-hate. You can't hate yourself into being skinny, and you certainly can't hate yourself into being healthy, because self-love is such an important part of health. And as I talked about a couple of videos ago, health should be the foundation of all fitness goals. And tying it back to what I said earlier, everything needs to be sustainable, and self-hate is not sustainable, and it's not something you want to make part of your lifestyle change. My next tip sounds obvious, but it makes a huge difference if you actually kind of go through your life and figure out how to implement it. And that is, do everything you can to just make it easier on yourself. Like, we all associate diets with being difficult, and so I think sometimes when we try to implement lifestyle changes that feel difficult, we don't question the difficulty and don't think, how could I actually make this easier for myself? So for example, if one of your lifestyle changes is that you want to consume fewer processed foods, a really easy way to help yourself do that is just don't keep them in the house. Like, you don't have to make them off limits, but if you want them, you have to just go get them. And if you go get them, go ahead and eat them. But you know, if you're not bringing home chips from the store regularly, or you know, buying ice cream every time you go to the store and keeping it in your house, then you create kind of that barrier with yourself that just makes it easier to not just reach for those things out of convenience. And also keeping prepped foods on hand so that if you're hungry, you can reach for those foods. Because again, processed foods are easy. Like, if you're hungry, it's a lot easier to grab a bag of chips than it is to like cook up a whole meal. But if you have food prepped, then it is just as easy to grab whole unprocessed food that's already prepped for you as it is to grab a bag of chips. So keeping prepped food also makes things easier. And something else that makes it a ton easier to stick to the things that you want to incorporate into your life is meal prepping, or planning your food out for the week and planning around like events that you might have or anything like that. But this can get really stressful. I went through a phase once where I tried like actually meal prepping every single meal, and that just didn't work for me. Like, if I have to eat the same exact thing for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, it's not happening. But I find when I have a plan or structure for my meals and then can kind of change things up as I see fit, that works a lot better for me. And one of the things that I've found super helpful for this is Green Chef, which is what I am making for dinner tonight. Green Chef is a CCOF certified organic meal kit delivery company. Ernie likes it too. It helps you cook clean, delicious dinners week after week with step-by-step recipes and pre-measured premium ingredients, and it saves so much time. And they're changing the game for meal kit subscriptions because they have options for like every lifestyle, including keto and paleo, which is the one that I got this time. They have vegan, vegetarian, they have fast and fit, Mediterranean, gluten-free, you name it. If you have dietary restrictions, you can probably find something that's gonna work great for you. All of the meals come with step-by-step instructions, chef's tips, which tend to be really helpful, and photos to guide you through the recipes, which for me is just so helpful because I'm such a visual person that it's a lot easier to just look at the pictures. The ingredients are pre-measured, perfectly proportioned, mostly prepped, so it saves so much time. And the available recipes are always changing, so there's always a variety of easy to follow recipes, so something new to discover every week, and you will never get bored with this. I personally find Green Chef really, really helpful during weeks where I just know I'm not gonna have time to grocery shop, or just don't want to think about what I want to cook. I just want someone to be like, here's this delicious meal. You can put it together yourself. It's all gonna be super fresh and delicious and healthy, and it's gonna fit your high Marissa standards, but you don't have to think about it. And as someone who's really, really busy all of the time, I don't have the bandwidth to think about my food all the time. And so being able to default to something like Green Chef, whose ingredients and recipes I trust and absolutely love and are always delicious, is just, it's so helpful for me. It is a testament to the perpetual deliciousness of Green Chef that I am excited for this meal. Here's the thing. Before trying Green Chef, I hated shrimp, but I got a Green Chef box a couple years ago that had a shrimp dish in it, and I was like, might as well try it. And I tried it, and now I like shrimp. I like shrimp because of Green Chef. It's literally always like one of the best things I've ever made. Not that I really made it, because they made it and then I just assembled it. If you are just getting into eating healthy and you want some direction and you want someone to take the pressure off of making the decisions about like what is good food and what is whatever, like just get a Green Chef box. It's such a game changer. I can just not say enough good things about Green Chef. Like, I am obsessed, and I highly, highly recommend checking them out. If you go to greenchef.com and use the code FitAndNerdy130, you will get yourself $130 off plus free shipping at checkout, which actually comes out to being an amazing deal. So like, I would get on that. It's greenchef.com, code FitAndNerdy130 to get yourself $130 off plus free shipping on your first box. Check it out. Link in the description box below. I am going to go sit down, watch a little TV, enjoy eating this before I get back to work. I've just been watching some TV while getting some work done, which is basically my nighttime routine at this point. If you're curious, I'm rewatching Better Call Saul because the new season's coming out really soon and has been a long time since I've watched the first couple seasons, so catching up on that. But I have a craving for the chocolate. Got some blank start 77% Peruvian cacao. Probably have just a smidge of this. Honestly, I don't have that much of a craving for chocolate. I just want a little bit. I'm mostly thirsty. So I'm also having a giant mint tea with some honey. But speaking of cravings, my next tip is helpful in managing cravings. And that is, in order to stick to your diet, eat more. Try to make a lifestyle change that involves cutting out dairy or gluten, because for most people that is a very healthy lifestyle change, because a lot of our bodies cannot actually deal with the dairy and the glutens. But if you're having that craving for this thing that you're trying to reduce your intake of, if you haven't eaten like a full balanced meal in a while, do that first. Have something that has a good balance of protein, carbs, and fats and has a good amount of calories. Then ask yourself if you still want that thing that you are craving. If you do still want it, go ahead and have it. But chances are, if you were craving that thing, it was your body thinking, I'm hungry, this sounds good, let's eat it. And once you've satisfied the physical hunger, then the craving may not really feel like a craving at all anymore.
The next day.
So we just fast forwarded about 24 hours. Ernie ended up curling up on my chest, and so couldn't move for a solid hour, and then it was late, and so I didn't finish filming the video. But I wanted to give you guys my last tip on sticking with your diet or your desired lifestyle change. And this last tip comes down to kind of self-awareness and understanding that a craving is not the same as wanting something, and being able to distinguish between the two. So here's the thing, a craving is involuntary, wanting is voluntary. A craving is an immediate impulse, whereas wanting is a decision based on all of your knowledge of your current situation. So it's important to remember that just because you're craving a cookie doesn't mean you actually want a cookie. So let's just say your grandma shows up and she's like, hey, I baked you this cookie. Do you want the cookie? And your first impulse when you see your grandmother's cookie is probably a craving for the cookie, for sure. Who wouldn't crave grandmother's cookies? But when it comes to deciding whether or not you want the cookie, there are a lot more factors than just your immediate reaction to the cookie. You might enjoy the flavor of the cookie. That's an acceptable reason to want something. You might make your grandma happy by eating the cookie. It's another acceptable reason to want the cookie. But on the other hand, you may know that the cookie may not be beneficial towards your goals. Like if you're trying to be in a calorie deficit to lose fat, it might not be helpful there. If you're trying to cut out gluten to resolve some health issues, it might not be optimal for that. Or you may know that, one cookie could be totally fine, you would enjoy it and it would be good, but you know something about yourself, and that's that if you eat one cookie, you're probably gonna eat another 10 cookies. So whether or not you want something, not crave it, but want it, is a summation of all of these things, and you get to decide what weight you place on these things. Like if making your grandma happy is the most important thing in the world to you, then that's just gonna outweigh everything. And then you not only crave the cookie, but you do want the cookie, and so you can go ahead and eat the cookie. It's okay to want something that you crave, and it is okay to eat something that you crave. The power comes in knowing that you have the option to decide whether or not you want that thing, regardless of whether you crave it. This is why I recommend you don't necessarily make rules, you just make choices along the way. And obviously there are some rules that you probably should make, like if you have celiac disease like me, like there really should be a rule that you don't eat gluten, because you're just literally slowly killing yourself if you eat gluten. But like if you're on a journey for aesthetics, there's no reason to say, this is a rule, I'm not allowed to have sugar, or my rule is I'm not allowed to eat processed carbs, or my rule is I'm not allowed to do XYZ. You don't need hard and fast rules. You need to empower yourself to be able to make decisions in the moment based on what you actually want. And let me tell you, it feels much better to be presented with a cookie make the decision that you want the cookie and then eat the cookie, rather than have made some rule before that you can't eat cookies, be presented with the cookie, feel the craving for the cookie, eat the cookie, and then you just feel guilty because you broke that rule. So I guess this is a two-part tip. It's understand that cravings are not equal to wants, but also don't set rules. Just make decisions. Speaking of cookies, I already showed you everything that I ate yesterday, but I'm about to have dessert tonight and I'm actually really excited for what I'm having. So I'm gonna show you really quick. I found these guys at the store today. This is a brand that I fell in love with when I was doing AIP because I have a few like AIP cookies, but all of their stuff is paleo. I've gotten these ones before. They're just like brownie bites and they're so good. I could literally eat all of these in one sitting. I won't because I'm gonna feel horrible afterwards, which is a decision that I'm making, weighing all of the things. Like, I know I want them because I know that they taste good, but I don't want them because I know that if I eat literally all of them, I'm probably not gonna sleep. It's probably going to hurt my stomach. Like, I'm just gonna feel horrible. And that outweighs the wanting from how good they're gonna taste. But I'm definitely gonna have like a couple, not just having one. We're deciding that right now. So I'm gonna go enjoy my dessert because these have been calling my name since I bought them at the store like a couple hours ago. I hope this video was helpful for you guys and insightful. If you do have any questions, comments, concerns, please leave them down in the comments below. Make sure you check out Green Chef, get yourself a little discount, link in the description. If you like this video, please give a big thumbs up. Really does support me and my channel. I really genuinely appreciate it. Please share this video with your friends, your family, and your neighbors. If you wanna see more videos from me all about health and fitness, you can check them out over here. To see future videos, make sure to hit the subscribe button, hit the little notification bell so you get notified when I post a video, and I will see you very soon. Bye!